Do you consider yourself to be smart or an intellectual or neither? Before you answer the question, think about it. You thought about it? Okay, boom. Now, Funky DINEVA in this whole conversation. I know. I didn't want to address it, but I just keep seeing these comments and it's kind of bothering my spirit because I feel as though I don't know whether people are acting intentionally dense when it comes to these conversations or if people truly don't understand the nuances of these conversations. Funky DINEVA, in layman's terms, said he feels bad for people who have attractions to children that are uncontrollable. He sympathizes with them even though it's wrong. Boom. People are saying, oh my God, how the fuck? Oh my God. Pump the motherfucking brakes. I want to preference this video by saying, anyone who harms children in any fucking way must be dealt with swiftly, intentionally, immediately, and with full accountability. I don't give a damn why you did it. Period. Full stop, point blank, I don't care. That's just the bottom line with that. Ain't nothing else to talk about when it comes with that. Now, additionally with this conversation, the sympathizing with the people who are actually assaulting children. Now, there are different scenarios. There are the people who were abused who go on to abuse. Do I sympathize with them? I sympathize with the child that they were when they were abused. I do not sympathize with them as an adult. Now, because people have choices to be made and you know the difference between right and wrong. So even if you were assaulted as a child, you know that it's wrong. You need to be held accountable. That's just period. Anyone who assaults a child needs to be held accountable. And that's just period. Now, sympathy and accountability are two completely different things. An individual who has a mental illness, okay, a mental illness you did not ask for that is completely out of your control. Those people who experience that when it comes to assaulting, abusing, and mistreating children. I sympathize with the fact that these thoughts are completely out of their control. Is that everyone who assaults children? Absolutely not. Do not you dare put a word in my mouth because I'm being very clear about what I'm saying. And I would go so far as to say there is a large majority of people who assault children and there is nothing wrong with them other than being sick, disgusting individuals. But for that marginalized group where medically they experience something that they cannot control mentally, I sympathize with that part of it. Not with the behavior, and they still need to be held accountable the same way that individuals who do it for whatever reason need to be held accountable because it is never acceptable to assault a child, period, point blank, full stop. I cannot believe that people are acting like they don't understand what he's saying though, and I have a feeling that it's because he's a gay black man. And people like to try to do this segue of saying that gay is a slippery slope to y'all know what I'm saying. And that's why I asked the question at the beginning of this conversation. Do you consider yourself to be smart or an intellectual? An intellectual is a curious person. Intellectual people are curious. I'll give you an example of my own with that T-Rex situation when the man blurted out, whether it was on the Oscars, the Grammys, the Escapades, whatever it was called. He blurted out nigga, essentially. And I'm like, what the fuck? Ew, get this nigga out of here. Fuck him. Everybody's like, he has Tourette's. I'm like, okay, but curious. I wanted to find out more about Tourette's. I found out more about Tourette's. I found out that you can have these outbursts. I guess it doesn't even have to be anything that you're thinking of, and it can just like happen because you have Tourette's. It's uncontrollable. So I sympathize with him in that sense, even though I truly don't appreciate what he said. And I feel like my mindset changed from hold this motherfucker accountable for insulting black people on national television to the people knew he had Tourette's that were running the station. They need to be held accountable because this should have never made it on TV. He has Tourette's. It will be the same thing as making sure there's a ramp for people to get up into a building if they're in a wheelchair. It's the same thing. It's called a reasonable accommodation. This man has Tourette's. He said something that is extremely embarrassing. He said he did not mean to say it, and it does not pertain to his character in any way. He should have been protected, as well as the people who had to experience it should have been protected. Are we seeing where I'm going with this conversation? Okay. Now, a lot of times these people who do have these mental illnesses, as they're growing up, their parents see the signs. They do weirdo fucking shit as kids. And their parents brush it to the side because they're kids. Fuck that. Get your kid under control. When you see your kid has weirdo tendencies, you need to protect other children and people from your child. It might be fucked up, but that's just what it is, okay? That's just what it is. But ultimately, I'm going to say this one more time because this is what Funky DINEVA was saying. I feel like he did not elaborate enough for the people to not try to misconstrue his words. I sympathize with the small group of people who experience thoughts that are uncontrollable, who have mental illnesses. I sympathize with the fact that they have these thoughts and they are uncontrollable. I do not sympathize with their behavior if they act on these thoughts. And I do think that they need to be held accountable. And I also think that they need to seek help immediately. No exceptions, because if you touch a motherfucking child, put them under the jailhouse. That's on period. Order in the court. We're done here.